Thanks for joining us on the Retrospection section. In this episode, we will continue reviewing Max's novel, The Writers, which follows the story of a growing number of superhuman teenagers in a dystopian society. In this episode, the main character, Evan, or Corinne, or we don't even know anymore, endures a shameful defeat at the hands of the master writer. Corinne discovers something surprising about her past, and we learn that Jeffy is Voldemort. Sit back, relax, and cringe with us. Okay, this one's just tagged with "okay." At that exact moment, Corinne came to, shot to her feet, though mortally wounded, froze the sea. Oh, I forgot the monster impaled her again with his claws.
How many times we need a tally? Corinne almost dies.
She's literally half dead through this entire series. I'm not even kidding. Like, at that exact moment, Corinne came to, shot to her feet, though mortally wounded, froze the scene around them, not the monster, and froze all the other kids, then drew a knife and stabbed the monster multiple times. When it was finally over, she unfroze the kids, deleted Wenda 2 from history, and deleted the wedding from history. When the deed was done, all the kids looked at her in amazement. "Okay," said Corinne, "that was the second time I've been impaled, and I don't intend to let it happen again." "What are we going to do next?" asked Jeffy 2. "Okay, look into my eyes, Jeffy number 2. I'm going back to the day you were born. Do you understand? You were born Jeffy's twin, Ray." Corinne moved on to Evan 2. "You were born Evan's twin, Cedar." When Corinne finally came out of her little history-changing trance, she turned to all the kids. "My name isn't Corinne," she said. "I made that part up. My real name is 135. I'm a supreme writer."
If she deleted the wedding from history, wouldn't that delete the doubles from history because they were created at the wedding?
Don't ask me these questions. I don't
You're
understand.
like, don't make sense of this time paradox.
I don't understand anything.
So is she rewriting history like they're actually twins now? She just created?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yeah.
really don't, no matter how many times we read this, I don't understand her power set. It's literally everything.
No one does. No one understands. Nobody can understand Corinne. She's like fire and ice and all things mysterious.
No one understands me. Ugh.
Exactly.
Dives into the river.
Seriously, okay, she's such... Remember how when we were talking about James being the Shadow, we were like, people talk about him like he's the Doctor?
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm annoyed by Doctor Who, is because Corinne is the Doctor. Okay, this next one is a feeble attempt at foreshadowing.
Oh boy.
And remember when Evan took off his shirt?
Yeah! And he never put it back on,
Jeffy.
did he? Because he doesn't have another
No,
one.
and just wait till we read this
She
section.
died all over it.
Okay, Jeffy, so that makes her about twice as evil as she was before, Ray said. "Even though I totally agree with you, we shouldn't hold grudges against a supreme writer. They can be really dangerous, I've heard," Jeffy said. So that's foreshadowing. "Guys," Evan said, turning from wrapping Cedar's shirt around Corinne. So now both Evan and his twin are
Well,
shirtless.
yeah, they gotta be twins. They're gonna run out of shirts at the rate Corinne gets hurt.
Yeah, and they never put shirts on again. They're shirtless for this entire
It's
thing.
just like really messed up strip poker, but like every time she gets hurt, they just strip a little more.
Deus Ex shirts. This whole thing, okay, this is, I've made this comment on, like, several different parts of this, but it's like a Deus Ex blank, like something will just magically help them out of the situation, but it's forthcoming. Okay, they all looked out over a nearby cliff and saw all that they'd been missing for their whole lives, a beautiful expanse of wilderness. Why had they been kept from it? Then, out of nowhere, the part of the cliff where Corinne and Evan were standing collapsed. Evan and Corinne went careening down the steep slope, yelling and screaming. Evan Wenda shouted after them, but to no avail. Corinne and Evan shot down the sheer rock for a long, long time before they hit the forest floor. Deus Ex cliff.
Evan and Corinne went careening down the slope.
Stop.
I can't.
Okay, so they're at the bottom of the cliff. They wake up. "Can you walk?" Evan said, sipping the warm broth. "Not for that long." Why do they have food on them?
I don't know. It's not explained.
I think Evan had a backpack that he, like, packed with food when they left the city. "Can you walk?" Evan said, sipping the warm broth. "Not for long." She forced a smile. "But I will." Evan looked up from his soup. "You will?" "Yeah, I don't have much to lose." Geez, Corinne, you're so melodramatic. Yup, I'm just like that. The programmers that, well, created us made it to make us seem more scary, I think. Corinne winced. What the hell?
I'm wincing too, Corinne.
Okay, you have known her for 2 days, is what this is labeled as. I could make you a writer, but it's really risky. Do you want to take the risk? If it means saving you, Corinne. Evan loved Corinne, he realized out of the blue.
He would hate her forever.
Exactly! Aw, how nice. Okay, stay right where you are. Don't move or you die. That's motivational.
This kid's weak, man. If I vow to hate someone forever, I like make an effort at it.
Okay, so she changes him into a writer. I went back and changed your patch, she said, holding up a perfume patch. Just fucking Deus Ex perfume patch. The kind of that old ladies from the cities put on when they went to fancy dinners. Evan sniffed the air. Coconuts? Exactly. Your new super senses are super amped. You don't need super amped senses to smell perfume. That's what perfume is for. So they decide to sneak into the writer headquarters, and she's like, change me. Into what, a teddy bear? Evan replied, unable to help himself from being critical, like Corinne always was. Oh, because writers are always mean, and that, okay, whatever. No, Corinne said, having had to deal with other writers' sarcasm every day of her life. Change my past. Change me into a different writer. Same looks, different number, same age. I'm a 15th. Okay, if they're sneaking in, why does she want the same looks? I labeled this one with Deus Ex Evan. Okay, I'm going into your past. You were made Supreme Writer number 155, and you were created so that you could figure out even the most extreme complications, because I'm not smart enough to figure this out myself, Evan said.
Just whatever needs to happen, they can just rewrite the past so it's already happened.
Yeah, there's literally no conflict whatsoever, because they can literally just go into the past and be like, the writers don't exist, everything's fine.
The conflict is, does he love her?
I just labeled this with end this. The next morning, Evan got up first, wondering if Corinne was going to make it through today's big adventure. Corinne, he asked. She moaned. Come on, Corinne, get up. Corinne pulled her covers down, but still stayed lying down. Evan threw a shoe at her. Ouch, Evan, you little, Corinne said, laughing, even though Evan could see it was a great effort for her. Corinne, get up or I'll throw another shoe at you, Evan threatened. All right, I'm getting up, said Corinne, standing up shakily. Why do you want to save me so bad anyway? Oh no.
Remember that hate her forever 3 days ago.
Because because I love you, Corinne, Evan confessed. Really? You must not be a full writer then. What? Why? Evan said sadly. Writers can, but refuse to, love, saying it makes them vulnerable. Sad fact of life, Corinne shrugged. Corinne, Evan said, a single tear trickling down his cheek. We can't cry either, only if ... Well, it's only ever been discovered ... That what? Evan said anxiously. Writers can only cry when they're in love. That night at the river. I was not crying, Corinne said. Okay, maybe a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So, you, Evan stuttered. Corinne pulled Evan into a kiss. At first, Evan was surprised. Kissing a writer? It just didn't seem right. But then he remembered I am a writer, and he let Corinne kiss him. Finally, Corinne stopped kissing him and they parted. Does that prove it to you, she said.
Okay, so that night at the river was like, what, the first day they met and she's crying because she loves him?
No, okay.
So she trauma bonded with him when she was staring in his face screaming. And now they're in love for life.
Oh my god, I hate everything. Okay, wait. I think, I wrote a prequel to this.
I know you did.
I barely remember, and I don't know what happened to the prequel. Like, I can't find it anywhere, but I think she was in love with another writer before this happened, like, before she got, like, almost murdered.
Which time?
And I think that's why she was crying. The first time. Oh, yeah, also in the prequel, she has tuberculosis.
Of course she does. But she could just go back in time and make herself not have it.
Writers can't change their own pasts. I actually did think to throw that in there somewhere.
So that's why you just make other people into writers so they can change your past for you, because that's
exactly.
Loophole.
This one's labeled with how many arms does he have? Just then the doors burst open. Okay, so they snuck in. They snuck into the headquarters, and Wenda and the like random doubles are also on their way there. Just then the doors burst open, and in came Wenda, Ray, Cedar, Jeffy, and Freedom the dog. Oh, I forgot they had the dog on their way out the city. We're gonna ignore that. Evan leapt up with
ignore the dog. I love dogs.
Evan leapt up with a sudden impulse to get them to the main control room and pulled them by the wrist down the hallway, snatching up Corinne as he shot past.
Octo-Evin.
He has at least 6 arms.
Yeah.
Okay, so they meet the Master Writer, aka the Masturbator.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I'm just gonna spoil it for you right now. Jeffy is a traitor.
I remember this.
Yes, so I'm just gonna read the rest of this chapter. So they go meet the Masturbator, and she's there. Once the door shut, the Master Writer went absolutely berserk. Don't you ever pull anything like that again, young lady. I suspected you were a bad egg when you saw the Hollow Book. That's why I had ... Well, his name's not important, but that's why I had he who must not be named follow you into the forest after you tried to escape. Apparently Jeffy's the Dark Lord. You thought you were so clever, but look who's laughing now, the Master Writer said. What, are you like my mother? Corinne managed through clenched teeth. What, are you like my mother? Corinne managed through clenched teeth. Regretfully, I am. What? Corinne said. That's right. Writers can never think for themselves, except you. You're the only real human child here. You are my first and only child, said the Master Writer. I was, Corinne said, beginning to fall back onto the floor. Oh, yeah, she's still dying.
Of course. I just assume she is at this point.
So Corinne's falling back onto the floor. You were, but I despised you so very much. I decided to create perfect children, capitalized, to keep all normal children in line. Lucky for you, I hadn't the heart to be rid of you when you were younger, the Master Writer said, ignoring the fact that her only child was dying.
She's just used to it.
She's like, it's fine, it happens all the time. Do you have any idea what is happening to your little experiment cities? Corinne asked. Of course I do. They are living in perfection and happiness, said the Master Writer. No, Evan says they are unsatisfied and unhappy. They'll gang up on you if you're not careful. Besides, if you wanted so many kids, why didn't you have them yourself, Corinne asked. Regular children are such a nuisance. I'd rather have hundreds and hundreds of perfect children than one annoying, bratty, curious you. Well, that may be part of it, but why am I the only one of your real kin and you just steal other people's kids for your own, Corinne asked. When your father left me, it was the worst day of my life. He broke my heart because I was already pregnant with you, unfortunately, and he just decided to leave me for some other girl. I decided to never have another child after what happened with your father because I knew it would happen again. That's why you're the only real child I have, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because you're dying anyway. Corinne felt a zap. But now you're cured, said the Master Writer. What? Why? Corinne asked incredulously. Because I know if you are dying or if you aren't, you still won't beat me, and you won't get away, the Master Writer said with a wink. Oh, how I hate you, Mother, Corinne said, also winking. I just have to... Why? I just have to ask you something before you try to kill me again. What's that? The Master Writer said. Just how did you create writers? You were a genetic anomaly created out of science. Writers even have an expiration date of sorts to keep them from living past age 22. So they don't start getting their own ideas. It's ingenious, isn't it? Trial and error, my dear. You are the error. Whoa.
That's rough.
You know what? Let's just ignore the fact that this is all futile. This has been Retrospection Section. Join us next episode where the kids recruit a hobo posse, Corinne gets kidnapped, Evan dies, and the kids fight a giant robot sloth. Next time on the Retrospection Section.